Good afternoon, Pool Player Nation. Welcome back to Orlando, Florida for continuing coverage of the 2023 U.S. Amateur Championship presented by the APA. And our coverage, of course, brought to you by our friends at PoolDog.com. I'm your host, Jason Bowman, and I'm joined by Team USA Mosconi Cup captain, Double J, Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, the final live stream round of the day here in the women's division of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Been an interesting day so far.
Yeah, a lot of great pool. Of course, our runner-up from last year had a win.
Rachel Lang.
Yeah, our champion, Stacy Bourbeau, had a win.
Big win.
Yeah, and speaking of winning, these two are on the one-loss side coming up.
Yeah, so we're gonna
one of them wants to win real bad.
We're gonna see one of our participants in this next match make their exit. Now, the women's U.S. Amateur Championship is comprised of 44 of the top players from across North America. Before we meet our participants in this match, let's take a look at some of the U.S. Amateur Championship format rules. Of course, the women's division is a double elimination race to 5. So we're going to see 3 games of 8-ball up to 6 games of 9-ball, depending on the score. And the winner of the lag opts to choose either the format or take the break. So as far as the 2 women who will be competing in this match, we have from Madison, Alabama, Cathleen McDaniel, and her opponent from Arlington, Tennessee, we've got Sara Olson. The ladies are ready to get things started. Let's take you down into the pit for the beginning of this round 4. Again, this is an elimination match. One of these ladies will move on the one-loss side of the bracket. One of them, Jeremy, will pack their bags and maybe take a trip to Disney or something tomorrow, but they won't, they'll no longer be playing in the tournament here, so it should be interesting. Do or die time for these ladies. This is Sara Olson with the break.
Yeah, she won the lag, chose the break. Her opponent, Cathleen McDaniel, chose 8-ball. So now at the table after a dry break, let's see what she can do with that choice of hers. Still a race to 5 on the one-loss side.
Kathleen out of Alabama, part of that strong Alabama contingent that we always see here at the U.S. Amateur Championship. We have a few more rounds to go today here in Orlando. This will be our final live stream of the day. 4th and final match we're bringing you, courtesy of our friends at PoolDog.com. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow to do it all over again. I think we got 5 rounds tomorrow starting at 10:30. Should be another great day of matches tomorrow. Open division will get going. Women's division will finish up.
Yeah, nice shot there, drawing the cue ball over. She did select solids with an open table. Plenty of work out there still, but making her way through it. The 4-ball, the pink 4 that's just on the right side of your screen near the 8, that's a little bit of a troublesome ball. Looks like she's going to try and hold for the 3. Maybe stop the cue ball, have the 5 by the 14. I think it does go. Has an option to play the 1 after the 3 and then go forward for the 4 and maybe the 5 last. So definitely some options. It looks like that's maybe the option. She's a little elevated over the 11, but probably still takes on the 1. It's a perfect opportunity to get at that 4 that's a little tucked away. And I think she's looking at the 5. It does play by the 14, but maybe because she's a little elevated over the 11, I still kind of like the 1, but 5's definitely a little easier, and she can draw a position on the 1 or the 4. Not much choice here. The one, although, is cuttable in the lower left corner. Very difficult shot. She'll try and take on the 4 and get some kind of position on the 1. Not easy. I think with a high English, she's going towards a scratch maybe, so may have to manipulate the cue ball a little bit. To get the cue ball open, but just barely hung the 4. Good start, though, overall.
Mm-hmm. Bring Sara Olson back to the table.
Sara from Arlington, Arkansas. Sounds like it's a suburb of Memphis, Tennessee.
Is it Arlington, Arkansas? Arlington, Tennessee.
Oh, it might be Arlington, Tennessee.
Let's see.
Actually.
It's definitely not Arlington, Texas.
No. She'd have a hangover, I think, after the Rangers winning last night. That's where the stadium's at, Arlington.
Right. Yeah, Arlington, Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
But you're probably correct. It's probably very close to Arkansas. Yeah, part of that greater Memphis area.
Jason Bowman, definitely the technical side of this duo in the booth. Google Maps and everything else. You can see the 4 hanging, but getting position on the 1 not so easy because the 14's kind of impeding the cue ball movement. So if she can get any look on this 1 ball, that'd be a job well done. Probably wants to hit it pretty light, just kind of come off, get one of the side pockets. Well, she's going to love this. Not easy, but definitely doable.
No information on Kathleen McDaniel.
Undercover.
See what I can find out for you on Sara Olson.
I'll tell you what information I can give. She's a pretty solid pool player from what I can see. Like you said, that Alabama crowd. See Mr. Andrews up there sweating.
Yeah,
sweating
Richard,
the action.
he's always here, isn't he?
Him and his son both.
Daniel,
make the U.S.
Richard.
amateurs.
Did this year they did both?
I don't know both,
okay.
but I know his son plays it.
I know
sometimes.
they have before, yeah.
From the Huntsville area.
8 in the corner goes for Kathleen. She takes a 1-0 lead in this race to 5. She will have the break. Again, we'll see 3 games of 8-ball, up to 6 games of 9-ball, depending on the score. While we've got a moment, let's hear a word from our sponsors. back here in Orlando, Florida, continuing coverage of the women's division of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Kathleen McDaniel back to the table. Breaking once again in the 8-ball set. Another dry break, common occurrence today here on the live stream table. Brings Sara Olson back, looking to tie this match up at 1 game apiece. Again, this is a race to 5.
Yeah, Sara won the lag, opting to take on the break, and Kathleen picked 8-ball, and she showed us why in game number 1. Really nice, very well played game, and not sure how that ball hung up, the 11, but now Kathleen quickly back to the table. Got to figure it's, oh, that ball fell, so that's going to get replaced. Yeah, normally once the player that is shot leaves the table in concession of a miss, they replace the ball that falls, sometimes just a little walking near the table or anything like that. You believe, wouldn't believe how much a ball can hang there.
Looking around the room, I see Robert Hall in the stands, another former U.S. Amateur champion. Of course, he seems to make it here just about every year. Been a while since he's made a deep run, but another former champion. It's one of the things I love about this event. You see a lot of these former champions want to come back and try to relive that glory, and pretty cool.
Well, I think Brian Parks kind of put a big number out there for the Open players.
He sure did, yeah.
Oh,
been several years since Brian's been back to the U.S. Amateur Championship. I talked to him out in Vegas in August. He said he's just waiting for somebody to get a little closer to the record, and then he'll be back. He's trying to give everybody a chance to catch up.
Well, Jacob Watson will be trying to add to that.
Yeah.
He'll be here, last year's champion. And, you know, it's interesting, right? If you feel like your opponent's going to take the break and you really want, you know, a certain game to start, would you maybe hit a little poor lag in thinking about that?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily something probably you would think about, but because, I mean, like you said, most of the players, both the ladies and the Open, they want that first break.
Yeah. You'd have to be pretty certain that your opponent was going to pick the format, which, although we've seen it today, it's just not a common occurrence. It'd be less common starting tomorrow with the Open division. Those guys almost always opt to take that break. We saw what, one match today start in the 9-ball set? Just that one?
Our first one.
Was it the first or the second one?
I think
it was
our
the first one. You're
yeah.
right, because they never made it to the 8-ball set.
That's right. Tell you what, Kathleen has been around some 8-ball players, very much picking out a nice pattern with a troublesome 8-ball. And this is where if the 10 goes in the side by the 6, which I think it does, you can shoot the 15 with a lot of confidence coming over, trying to get on that 9. Tough shot being elevated over the 8. Solid. So now the 10 ball, you're kind of going away from the 9. So you probably want to take on the 9 right here. At least give yourself a chance to make this out. And it looks like Kathleen's got to get into the cue ball a little bit. Whether that be drawing it a hair, coming across. Could catch a little piece of the 2. We'll see. Oh, she caught a piece of the 10, which may not hurt. We'll see. I don't know. Looks like maybe a cross-side bank on the 8 does go if she doesn't want to disrupt any balls. Looks like she's going to try and crash into a few.
Ooh.
Well, she got on that bank I was talking about. I think it does go. Let's see, I think she's got to kind of elevate the cue a little bit. She could roll it. It does go rolling it, but I feel like she'll get a double kiss on the cue ball if she rolls it. So, yeah, there you go. She's jacking up a little bit. You're going to put a little speed on this.
All right, Sara Olson back to the table now. A lot of room to maneuver.
And quite a bit of room to maneuver with a tucked away 8 ball. Could get out, really. I mean, it's there with the 6 there. That gives you options to get on a very difficult 5 ball.
Sara has been to the U.S. Amateur Championship once before, back in 2017. She got 9th out of 33 that year. A little past experience to lean on. Of course, much has changed between now and 2017. The tables, the venue. I think overall just the level of play on the ladies' side.
I think the game itself has changed, whether it be something that was just going to happen anyways. I think pandemic had a little bit to do with that as well. I think the game's gotten a little younger as a whole. I mean, I think the junior development in America has come a long ways in the last few years.
Yeah. That was an unforced error there by Sara.
Yeah,
she was fortunate that object ball got up on the rail to avoid the foul at least, but
yeah, and you wonder, because she got straight on that ball, so maybe she was just trying to cover the pocket with the 4, trying to play a little strategy and see what, Cathleen could do from here. She's got to kind of roll this bank for it to go cross side, and watch out for twice cross side.
Sara back to the table here, and as we mentioned at the outset, this is an elimination match. One of these two players will exit the tournament at the conclusion of this. One will move on the one-loss side.
And I think a little difference in the 7-footer and the 9 is some of the safeties you can play with an 8 ball and 9 ball, but also one thing you got to get used to is knocking some balls in. You can't just play safe. The 9-footer is very demanding when it comes to pocketing balls, and you can see right there that
2 ball. Look at it just hang there.
She's had a couple of those.
Kathleen McDaniel, a chance to take a 2-0 lead in this race to 5. She can pocket this 8 in the corner. No problem there for Kathleen. Takes a 2-0 lead. We will have one more game of 8 ball before we switch to the 9 ball set. And while we've got a moment, let's hear a word from our sponsors. All right, welcome back to continuing coverage of the 2023 U.S. Amateur Championship Women's Division. Kathleen McDaniel at the table. Out of Alabama with the break. She leads 2-0 in a race to 5. Final game of the 8-ball set.
Yeah, and it looks like she's made 2 stripes on the break and maybe a bit of a window. Long distance at the 12 is all.
Been a strong start for her.
Yeah, she's only missed 1 ball she shot at, and it wasn't easy. Actually, 2, I say that. She had a bank on the 8 as well, but that wasn't easy either. These set up nice, even though there's a lot of congestion. All the stripes are right there on this end.
Nice touch.
Wanted a little more out of the cue ball, obviously, but and also what happens is you get on the new felt, it just tells you, it can kind of shark you a little bit. Oh, it's fast, 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 and then kind of reminds you it's not that much faster than your club table. They've taken on a very tough one in the side. Kind of a blind pocket. Thing about the side pockets also, there's no rail to kind of run the ball into the pocket. You have to hit them pretty pure.
Bring Sara Olson back to the table once again. Needs to get going here before it's too late, Jeremy. It's an elimination match.
In her defense, she's had limited time with Kathleen playing so well, but now's definitely a chance. I wonder which pool room she plays out of in that Memphis area. I'm kind
Let's
of
see
thinking
if
maybe
I can
tight
tell you
pockets,
that.
maybe. Or
Let's see if I can tell you a little bit about her.
I know that used to be a big room for the APA and a great owner and Tracy Whitney.
What's that? High Pockets?
Tight pockets.
Oh, Tight Pocket. I know there's a place in Memphis called High Pockets too that I've been.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. High
High
pockets. I don't know
Pockets,
why
yeah,
I said tight pockets. Sorry. Yeah, High Pockets. Been there a long time. Tracy's owned it maybe.
We did a show there with Jeanette years ago. Yeah, here
Yeah.
she mentions Tracy Whitney, the owner of High Pockets.
Yeah, great guy. I don't know why I said tight pockets. Excuse me,
Hometown
Tracy.
pool hall.
Good friend of mine.
Sarah also mentioned her husband Troy and her 2 daughters. All of her friends and family rooting for her back home in the Memphis area, where she mentioned her league operators,
Yeah.
Nika and Bobby Harvison.
Yeah, how long High Pockets has been around. Maybe my second road trip ever. I was 18. And I went to that pool room on that road trip. So what year was that? 1989 or 90. So long-lasting pool room there in Memphis area.
Yeah.
Great pool room as well.
Yeah, the night I was there, we did a show with Jeanette Lee there, and there were tornado sirens going off all over Memphis. It was kind of a crazy night. And I seem to remember part of that building having some glass, like at the top, if I remember. So it was a little touch and go there for a while. We weren't sure if we should cancel the show, but you know Jeanette, she said, no way, you can't cancel the show. There's hundreds of people in here.
Yeah.
The show went on, and we were all safe and sound. It was a great night there in Memphis.
Must
Part
have
of
been
the Black Widow
springtime.
tour. Yeah, it was part of the Black Widow tour back in May of 2011, I believe.
Yeah, I live in that tornado alley where all those storms come through.
And we get them there in St. Louis, too, from time to time.
Be inspecting the rack. A little bit of an odd one with the 3-7. Not many choices on this first shot besides the 5. The ball's going to come across a little bit. Knock the 1 down the table a little. That may actually help getting on the 3-7 here in a moment.
Don't forget, you can follow along the tournament brackets if you go to CompuSport or download the CompuSport app. You can track all the players in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Who's in, who's out, who's playing who, what time, what table. All the deets right there in the CompuSport app.
Much better stroke there. Seems a little more settled in here on game 3. Now she's gotten on those problem balls, the 3 and the 7. A whole lot of angle on this brown 7, so maybe she draws back. Could bump the 3 maybe. Yeah, and I think the cue ball was on her mind a little bit there and maybe lost a little focus there on the object ball in the side. You can see a lonely 15 up on that short rail. That's the problem ball now for Kathleen. She's got a great starter on the 10. Okay, she's got a shot on the 13 in the upper corner. I think she wanted to maybe get on the 14 to get on the 15 right then, but it's not bad still. She can hit a high ball, try and track the cue ball towards the top end of the table. I think she could slide over as well. The 14 does pass the 6. See how she cues the ball. I think it's a high ball. Well, you can't ask for a friendlier bump on the 14 than that. Showing us more and more why she wanted that 8 ball. Definitely
She
played.
looks tough, yeah. I have to go back to CompuSport and see who knocked her to the one-loss side.
Okay, she played for a lot of angle on this 15, so must feel pretty comfortable. She knocks it in. I think she got it, kind of goes into the 6 a little bit, maybe bumps the 6 a hair. Some players in matches on the outer tables, some practicing, getting ready for more matches. Oh, really nice. Check the ball with a little right spin as well.
Very makeable shot now on the 8 ball. Chance to take a commanding 3-0 lead into the 9 ball set.
Looks like going to go for extension. Popular tool in a pool player's bag these days.
Who was the first person that came up with that?
I'm
just going to make my cue longer when I need it longer.
Yeah, right. Well, some tall players had done that, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe how unorthodox the extensions were back in the day. PVC pipe and everything else.
Well, Kathleen McDaniel opens up a 3-0 lead as we prepare for the 9 ball set. We're going to take a quick break here. A word from our sponsors.
and this is really gonna help your game tremendously and truly put you to the next skill level. Hey guys, I'm Fernand Koller, also known as Venom. I'm a professional pool trick shot artist, but also a league operator for APA in Las Vegas. There we go. Thank you. This one is using actually 10 balls. So what exactly is a tangent? There's, in my opinion, 3 types of bridge: the closed bridge, the open bridge, and the rail bridge. We're gonna start with the closed bridge. Now, if you practice this, it's really gonna help you to go from a 2 to a 3. In this episode today, we're gonna cover how to go from a 3 to a 4. Let's get into it. The more you're gonna do it, see, as you can see, I touch sometimes a little bit of it. And 8, right? So you technically have 8 zones for 10 balls, so you have a little bit room to spare. I really hope this was useful, and I cannot wait to see you for another video. Later, everybody.
And we are back at it here in Orlando, Florida, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Women's division, 44 of the top amateur ladies from across North America here. You're watching Cathleen McDaniel out of Alabama at the table. First game of the 9-ball set. Kathleen, the 3-0 lead.
Really good break. How you like this starter on the 1? I'm not so sure the 2 goes. So she'll have to deal with something there. But, you know, interesting. Maybe things changed, but she's got her extension on for the 9-ball. Only used it on a long shot in the 8-ball. So interesting.
Oh.
Which I could see that. I mean, 9-ball, you move the cue ball a lot more up and down the table. 8-ball, you play a little more, you know, from A to B and B to C and so on. Not as much cue ball movement. So
I was peeking ahead till tomorrow, Jeremy, so we'll be back 10:30 a.m. Eastern with our first live stream match. I think there's one round earlier tomorrow morning, but we'll pick up our production at 10:30 a.m. and we'll run all the way through the day until the final of the women's division, which kicks off around 4:30 Eastern. So be a full day of coverage tomorrow, 5 rounds. Get our first look at the open division. That'll be a noon match. And then we'll shift back over to the women's division. And then starting Saturday, that'll be all open division play. 6 rounds on Saturday.
yeah, interesting. I think it was just an accident. Didn't realize the extension was on. Took it off now for her second turn at the table here in the 9-ball side.
Just wondering why that queue was so long, huh? You're
Yeah.
right. She finished off that 8-ball rack and just...
Yeah, it's funny. It's instantly, if I pick up the wrong cue, I know it. I just instantly know it. I guess it being her cue, but just with the extension on, it was harder to notice. All right, big shot for Sara to get going. These balls are open. Very good attempt. Looks like Kathleen's going to take on the cut. Good thing about the cut shot, if you bury it, 95% Chance you have position on the 2 in the side pocket, maybe the corner.
Uh-oh. Well, no scratch. Chance for Sara to try and get things going. Time's running out.
Yeah, we know she can play. She just hadn't had a whole lot of time at the table. Kathleen played very well on the 8-ball side of things, but 9th place finisher here before, you know she can hold her own. Pool's a funny game, though. One day you'll play perfect. Next day you just wake up a little different. It's just so mental, the game is. It's played a lot of sports, never found anything like pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about them stationary sports, Jason. You and I played a little golf, and
Yeah,
a little
well,
9 holes over there in St. Louis.
That's right. We had a good day out there playing a little 9.
But it's golf's very similar to pool.
Yeah.
One day you think you got it, and then the next day it reminds you.
Yeah. I see that with baseball sometimes too, with hitting, you know.
Yeah.
You get one strikeout and then you're in your head.
And I don't, pro level is one thing. We never talked about it so much throughout school and whatnot in baseball, but pro level, boy, they really lean on, he's 1 for 30. That doesn't help, you know. So
my young son, he plays competitive baseball, and I saw him in a tournament a couple weeks ago. He had a strikeout, and I could just see it. And he manifested. He ended up striking out 5 times that day. He hadn't struck out 5 times all season. He just couldn't. The mental side of it, so it's such a real thing.
Yeah,
the mental
100%.
side of sports is, those that make it to the highest levels are the ones that can put the mistakes behind them pretty quick and just forget.
Yeah, those cliches, living in the moment and
Yeah.
whatnot is, and not only that, mistakes, but also the big grand things that happen. Those are the hard ones to leave behind. I love it when I see a player bury a big shot and they take a little more time before they go on to the next one. Just because you can get just as ecstatic as you can down on yourself, and I think anything extreme you have to be prepared for mentally. And talk about extreme. What about the cut on this pink 4? Wow. I think she's going to go for it, though. She knocks it in. Should go up and down the table. Always going to be tough. There's so many more ladies events as well. I was talking to Stacy Bourbeau about that, and I wouldn't doubt these 2 ladies. And I know Memphis and Huntsville's a little ways away from each other, but I wouldn't doubt these 2 have played each other before.
Some regional events.
Nice
shot there for Sara.
I think the 5 squeezes by the 9, but I think if it does, it's really, really snug. And the problem is, do you really want to slow roll it to hold for the 8? She may just go after the 9 here, Jason. And why not? Yeah, I can feel the air has changed in here.
That it has.
And much more comfortable. I think Kathleen is sizing up. What's the cue ball doing here? Is it going towards that corner? If I cut it by the 9, I think she's got to draw it a little bit, or else good chance she scratches here on this shot. She just plays it natural. Okay, she's going to play underneath it, so maybe a safety behind the 9 with the cue ball.
Kathleen lost 5-2 to Yin I'm going to brutalize the last name if I sound like an Asian player, though, in the tournament.
I might be able to help you.
She lost 5-2. Huynh.
Hun?
Hun?
I'm guessing.
Yin Hun?
Yeah, I think I might have saw that match going on earlier.
Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. Kat, did she win that match? No, she lost that match. I put her into this match as Sara Olson picks up her first rack of this match. Now trails by just 2 games. Well, the winner of this match is going to move on and play another match right after. Well, I've got a quick moment. Let's hear a word from our sponsors. Back here in Orlando, Florida, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship 2023, the women's division. This is Sara Olson at the table with the break, trailing 3-1 in this race to 5. Gets a ball on the break there. Like she's got a clear shot at the 1. Chance to pull back into this match, Jeremy. Won't count her out yet.
No, absolutely. And the 1 leads to the 2. The angle's nice. Maybe a 3-9 to end it and cut the score to 3-2. Just going to run past a little bit, so the 2's going to become difficult.
Shout out to all of our sponsors. Action Cues, Aramith Balls, Diamond Tables, and of course our friends at PoolDog.com. Bringing you this great coverage of these U.S. Amateur Championships this year from Orlando.
Oh, nice shot there.
Pockets the 2.
Really good.
Parks it right there behind that 3 ball.
Yeah, and when you're close to the ball, it's hard to follow it. Just because the cue ball doesn't get much spin developed before it contacts the 3, so very difficult to move the ball here.
We'll bring Kathleen back to the table.
And of course, there's 6 balls on the table, but 3 she should get down. The 4 to the 5. If she gains position there, you can see the 5, 6, 8, 9 all within just inches of each other. It's a little straight, so if you're going forward, just be a little aware. Got to cheat the pocket a little bit. And she did. And she gained enough angle, it looks like, to come down for the 5. Got to go a little bit. Another foot would have been real comfortable, but still doable. I remember last game of 8-ball, I think it was, she played a similar shot with a little right English to check the cue ball. That would help here as well.
I was looking over the bracket. It looks like Jeannie Seaver won that match against Rachel Lang.
Well,
5-2.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that she won because Rachel's back at it now, playing another match. So I kind of felt like it was a one-loss side along with these ladies we're watching. It looks like maybe a scratch along with a missed ball. So that group of the 5, 6, 8, 9 now in Sarah's hands.
Yeah, Rachel Lang playing right now against Susan Marr. Rachel, the last year's runner-up. Fighting to stay in contention.
Yeah, I know that
Just
name.
picked up a game over there, it looks like.
I know that name of Susan Marr as well. She can play. I haven't seen her in some time, but just rubbing the 6 as she went by with the cue ball there, so it's going to make things a little more difficult for Sarah.
In fact, the winner of this match will take on the winner of the Lang-Marr match that's going on right now, 5:30 today. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Always when you're digging down on the cue ball, and she was applying a little side spin, not the easiest with the bridge. I think she's falling kind of awkwardly straight here, maybe falling towards the bottom cushion a little bit with the cue ball. So she may end up playing the 8 all the way up the table. We'll see. Instead of drawing the cue ball with a funny angle. Yeah, that's what she stayed for. And I think that's a pretty smart shot. A lot of times you'll hear league play or anyone really talk about another person at the table. At least make sure you get that shot to win. And that's what she has here with the 8, and should be easy shape on the 9. Oh, smooth customer right there. Real nice.
Kathleen McDaniel with a chance to move to the hill, misses the 9 in the corner, just left it hanging. And suddenly, Jeremy, this looks like a different match. Sara Olson pockets this 9. And she does. She'll have the break, trails by just 1 game. Wow. That was a difference maker right there. Big time.
That ball kicked on Kathleen a little bit. Just maybe eased it a little too much.
All right, folks, while we've got a moment, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, listen, I know that you don't play pool, but my league team is looking for someone tonight who's never played, so you're coming with. Great, I'll see you there. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, welcome.
Welcome back. I can't believe it. You did it. We're going to Vegas. Vegas, baby. Oh my.
All right, we're back here at the women's division of the 2023 U.S. Amateur Championship from Orlando, Florida. Quite the turn of events at the end of that last rack, Jeremy. It looked like Kathleen McDaniel was going to open up a 4-1 lead, but she left the 9 hanging in the corner. Sara Olson takes advantage, and it's a 3-2 match, and Sara now with the break pockets a ball and could find ourselves even at 3 games apiece here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked all morning about how mental this game is, and Kathleen will have to, sort that out. Both these ladies, though, seem like the type that are just going to get on with it and have fun. Nice shot there. I don't know if she hit it soft enough to hold shape or not. Be difficult to get at the 2. Yeah, quite a few more people now in the venue.
Absolutely. You can tell the open division just registered. They're making their way in here.
And looking around, I feel like we have some, APA local, Orlando area or maybe surrounding
Let's see,
cities.
Jason Richco, former U.S. Amateur champion out of the Tampa area. I mentioned Robert Hall, Richard Andrews, a former runner-up. Dan Gamble running around.
Yeah, Richard's always a lot of fun. Timeless kind of guy.
I
Always.
think I saw James Adams somewhere around here at one point. A lot of familiar faces. Pretty amazing these guys are able to qualify to come back, year after year.
Well, especially just shows you something about the sport, though. If you maintain and you really want to improve, you can. But it is amazing, though, because the sport's gotten so much younger, and across the board it seems like it's gotten younger. Nice safety there from Kathleen. I was wondering if she may ride the 9 there, but playing it pretty conservative after losing that last game and now a 3-2 match. So this one here sets up for a possible scratch off either side of the 2, so not easy. Oh, she
Got a
caught it
piece.
thin, yeah. Okay, this should be just knocking this in, coming 1 rail at the 3. Pretty natural, it looks like. She's overcut it.
Well, we talked a little bit about the mental side of things, and that last rack missed that 9. Now misses the 2.
Yeah, and she hadn't missed much up until that 9 ball. So a real mental side is we'll see if, later this rack or maybe a future rack, she gets difficult on a 9 and maybe has a little trouble. Oh, nice shot, Sara. Really nice. A little unfortunate, kind of in the trees a little bit with the cue ball over the 5. Does go by the 8. I think that's where she's kind of sizing it up for. Left a shot for Kathleen and a very makeable ball, but pretty straight here and very difficult to get back on the 5. She may just knock this in lightly and take the shot from some 6-7 feet away. Well, looks like she's going to dig on the cue ball, trying to get a little closer. A little fortunate. Looks like the 5 locked up on the 6. I don't think it really has a playable pocket. May look and see what the 6 is pointed at. Is it directed towards the 9? You might play some kind of off 5, 6, 9 combination. Not something you do very often, but every now and again. Tell you, now we see a possible 6-9 combination in the side. Maybe for one of these ladies. Nice shot there, holding the cue ball. She's got to do a bit of that now again, though, because this is real close to a scratch if she goes forward off the 6.
Cannot pocket that 6 in the corner. Sara Olson returns to the table. Trying to even this match up at 3 racks apiece.
Yeah, you can see a lot of work from the 7 to the 8. So she's going to have to show off a little of that stroke, maybe. If she could follow around here and get a cut on the 8, that wouldn't be bad. Long distance shot here on the 7. You got to appreciate these players. And this race to 5, it's pressure right from the start. Well, she may have fluked it. May have laid it up for her opponent, though. There you have it for Cathleen. Can't ask for much more than this. It's funny, we're talking about our winner and runner-up last year, Stacy and Rachel. And I was talking to Stacy after her match, I think it was, and prior, but her and Rachel play all the time. She said,
both out of the Northeast,
yeah, the ladies
New
tournaments
York
around
and
there.
Massachusetts, yeah.
Said quite often they play each other. It's not the only final they've been in against each other.
That does not surprise me.
Oh, a true tester here, and this is what we're talking about.
Well, we
So,
just,
getting a little mental.
see if she can put that last rack behind her here. Nicely done.
Really good.
Pockets at 9 in the corner. Takes a 4-2 lead, and we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back, folks. Continuing coverage of the women's division, the 2023 U.S. Amateur Championship. Cathleen McDaniel on the hill, leading 4-2, looking to close out this match. We'll see if she can get that 9-ball moving. Start this rack. Not much doing on the break. Sara Olson to the table. Must-win rack for her. This is a one-loss side of the bracket. One of these ladies will be exiting the tournament at the conclusion of this match. One will move on to face the winner of the Rachel Lang-Susan Marr match.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if all the tables are one loss, but Tina Larson over there playing a match, so I'm afraid she may be on the one-loss side.
Let's go to CompuSport, Jeremy.
There you go. That's why you got it. Sara with a medium tough little 2-ball. She got it down.
Tina is on the one-loss side. Lost in the first round to Sandy Cheng. 5-2. Came back to beat Crystal Jones.
Oh, she beat Crystal on the one-loss side, so Crystal's out.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal from, actually, I think she lives in the Austin area now, or maybe Killeen, Texas, from West Texas, though.
Crystal finished tied for 33rd, but
Little 9-ball action here, 4-9. It does go by the 8. I got a good feeling about this one. Ooh, maybe a kiss shot coming to end this match. Play the cue ball off her right side of the pink 4 with a little draw stroke. Really hard to miss. You're either going to double kiss it in or just make it outright. You may go off the rail first and make it. One thing you could do wrong here really is maybe follow it in, which I think is not impossible, but very hard to do. Just don't overhit it. Let the draw take.
there it is. Cathleen McDaniel finishes off this match. And she is moving on. Sara Olson is exiting the tournament. And, folks, that's a wrap for day one of the U.S. Amateur Championship Women's Division here in Orlando, Florida. We will be back tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, with continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Appreciate you tuning in, and we will look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.